On any given day, around 10,000 juveniles are sentenced to prison in adult jails and prisons without parole. Today, my intention is to persuade my audience that juveniles being sentenced to life without parole is not right. And I will discuss the problem with juveniles serving life, the solution to making sentences shorter, and the benefits to a reasonable sentencing for juveniles. I'm first going to discuss the problem. The problem is that sentencing juveniles to life without prison is simply wrong. Furthermore, life sentences for juveniles is a disproportionate punishment. What's so bad about it? Life sentences for juveniles denies the individual's humanity. According to Juvenile Law Center, individuals who have shown signs of growth and rehabilitation will continue to die behind bars for petty crimes that they committed when they were in their youth. I just discussed the problem with juveniles being sentenced to life. Now let's discuss the solution. The solution is to simply make sentences shorter, or to reduce kids who are already serving their life sentences, to reduce their sentences. My game plan is for each non-violent case for juveniles to be sentenced, that are sentenced to life, to have an opportunity to be reviewed for parole. Why is this plan going to work? My plan will work because government officials agree that it is more expensive to have these juveniles locked up than it is to invest in our schools and communities, which they would be in had they not been in prison. According to the Campaign for Fair Sentencing and Youth article, 1,002 people are sentenced to life without parole as children have been released since Montgomery v. Louisiana. Montgomery v. Louisiana is a 2016 case that went to the U.S. Supreme Court, and it addressed the question of whether Miller v. Alabama applies to retroactively individuals serving mandatory juvenile life without parole sentences. A real-life example of this plan would be Henry Montgomery, which I'll explain later in the presentation, but I first want to discuss Centoya Brown's case. You may or may not know Centoya Brown. Her story is very popular recently. She basically was a victim of sex slavery, and she was asleep next to her, I guess you can say, pimp. And since she wasn't in immediate danger since he was asleep and he wasn't in the moment causing her harm, she shot him while he was asleep. And because she wasn't in immediate danger, the court found her guilty of robbery and murder because she then stole the money that was in his wallet. She was released after 15 years because she got a lot of recognition from celebrities like Rihanna or Kim Kardashian were posting her and bringing attention to her case, so she was released after 15 years. We have now discussed the problem and solution. We will now discuss the benefits. The benefits of reasonable sentencing for juveniles is that it will allow rehabilitated youths and to rejoin the families and their communities. By rejoining their communities, they will contribute in positive ways according to Juvenile Law Center. What might happen if my plan is adopted? If my plan is adopted, it will save the lives of juveniles who have turned their lives around, and they can show the world that they're promising futures. Example again is Henry Montgomery. He was immediately made eligible for parole at his recent resentencing parole hearing because of the Miller v. Alabama, which we discussed earlier was just a case to find if juveniles being served life sentences was just or not. And again, with the Centoya Brown, Centoya is a prime example of this because she did kill someone, although it was, you would probably think, okay, she was a sex slaver, he was, doing bad things to her and she was uncomfortable with her situations, and she tried to get out of it by killing him. She turned her life around and she went to school. She finished her high school and she also went to college, and she now goes around the world, around US most like, to share her story to young girls to prevent the same things happening to them, and just to show how she turned her life around. And she also wrote a book about it too, if you're interested. Today, my intention was to persuade my audience that juveniles should not serve life sentences. I discussed the problem with inhumane sentencing of youth, the solution to making sentences shorter, and the benefits of reasonable sentencing for juveniles. Now, what can you do to help? You can go to change.org and sign the petition to stop children from being sentenced to die in prison. Today, your signature can save someone's life. I'm going to leave you with the quote that Liz Ryan wrote. Youth prisons are spending an enormous amount that could be freed up for more effective community-based alternatives. Thank you.